Okay guys, welcome to Talking News. Please subscribe and push that notification bell up top. I want to go over what KHOU 11 shared with us, and I want to talk about it. It's called Talking News. So they interviewed Brittany Bowens, the mother of Meleah. I'm going to go ahead and let you watch this clip when she was born.
The day she was born, I had to have a C-section with her, and I just remember being in the hospital by myself.
Other family members not there, or? Wow. Do you remember holding her for the first time?
Absolutely.
And what was that like?
The feeling was amazing because I've always wanted a little girl. I've always wanted a little girl, and to know that I finally had her, it meant everything to me.
Tell me about Meleah.
Meleah, she was friendly. I mean, she would go up to anybody. Anybody on the street, she would, hey, hi, she would always speak. And a beautiful little girl, she loved to play, with the kids, and she was just a normal child. She played with her brothers. She got along with them. She loved being a big sister to Cortland, and she was very helpful.
She had a favorite color, favorite doll, favorite cartoon?
Well, her favorite color was pink. She wasn't a doll person. She would play with cars, if anything. she loved cars. But her favorite cartoon character was Rainbow Dash. And she used to watch My Little Pony all the time. She wouldn't want to watch anything else. And I remember she used to tell me how Rainbow Dash was her best friend.
Really? I have a daughter, and My Little Pony was her favorite when she was that age. The world has been touched by this story. There's been an outpouring of support and great interest and concern. Why do you think that is?
Honestly, I'm not sure why, but I know this kind of spirit Meleah had. It was beautiful. And when I took those pictures, that's exactly what I captured, her spirit. You can tell. It's like you look at something, you look at her, and it's like you just know what kind of person she was. You can feel that spiritually.
Everybody has seen this photograph. There's something about the gap in the tooth, the floppy hair, that everybody, it just grabs them. It is an adorable picture. Did you take this picture?
I did.
How old was she when you took that picture?
3.
She was 3. And where were you?
At Galveston.
Oh,
Jamaica Beach.
Jamaica Beach. Did she like the beach?
She loved the beach. As a matter of fact, before all of this, I was just talking about bringing her back. We were supposed to go back.
How's your mom doing? She spoke the first time we heard from you. I remember her speaking at the news conference.
I haven't talked to her.
Really? is that?
I don't know. It's like ever since, I don't know, she doesn't want to be in the media. And I'm okay with that.
I see. But there's something going on between you two where you're not talking, which seems surprising given what you're going through. You'd want to talk to your mom.
I want to talk to mom. It's too much for her.
Okay, we see Brittany start talking about the day that her daughter is born, and we see that, she's more, what come to her mind first was the fact nobody was there. He had to lead her into talking about Meleah. Not saying that she don't love Meleah at all, but she does put herself first. Not only that, you can hear her when he talks about her mother. The mother is obviously very upset and shamed of Brittany Bowens. And you could tell that by the way that she hung her head in shame immediately. It wasn't even a pause. There was no thought. It was complete shame, and it was immediate. So obviously she knows that her mother has told her time and time again something, and her mother is angry with her. That's what it seems like. I'm not positive. I can't prove that, but that's what it looks like. Body language says a lot. What do you guys think? So, share that below, of course. And when I get time, I'll go through those. But it just seems to me that the mother is very angry at the daughter right now. And the last thing she wants to do is be part of this media that's going on, that's going to find out the truth that her daughter did neglect her little Meleah. I mean, she knew there were some bad things going on, and they've been going on the entire relationship. So mom wants nothing to do with that, and that's what I get from it. So we're going to move on to this next clip, and this is where he interviews Brittany and questions her about the argument that Brittany and Vince got into, and they claim that it's at the airport, but we've heard different versions as to where that happens. But don't worry, the police do have time stamps on these text messages. We'll find out in the future what the truth is. But it just seems like to me this activist by her side seems to think he knows what he's doing is better. He has advised her to give up her text messages. She was not going to give those to the police, which tells me that she was going to protect him. Here you are, you have your daughter missing, and you don't tell police about the argument. Why? She's not wanting to help the police. And then you'll hear her say on this video that she was hoping that this isn't how it was going to go down. And I want you to tell me if I'm wrong here, if this is what I heard when she said that. When she says, I didn't want to believe that's what happened. I wanted to believe that basically the 3 Mexican men did kidnap her daughter versus it being Vince. What did you get from that? Because it just seems to me she was just hoping that she could keep Vince in her life. All right, here's the clip.
Let's go back to the beginning of this story. You left town to go to your dad's memorial service. It's been reported you had an argument with Darian Vince before you left town. What was that about?
I'll speak to that.
Okay.
I'll speak to that. They were having some relationship issues. because she discovered that there was issues of infidelity and that he had been entertaining others in a very inappropriate manner when you're in a committed relationship to someone else. And so she didn't confront him about that until she was already gone at the airport.
So at the airport, did you call him and talk to him about this, or he took you to the airport?
No, my friend took me to the airport.
And did you call him?
No, I texted him.
What did you say?
Those text messages have been given to authorities. And so we don't want to rehash that right now because all of that's going to come out in a trial someday soon. But all of that exchange between the two of them about the infidelity, the inappropriate pictures of a sexual nature that she had discovered him sending to someone else, that's going to come out. But all of that was provided after I got involved to investigators, that they needed to see those things. Because to me, I believe it spoke to motive, in my opinion, based on what we have learned and what we discovered and what we saw. Those pictures had the potential to expose a hidden secret of his about his sexuality. And once she confronted him with that while being at the airport, you know, I believe that speaks to the motive behind this entire tragedy of Meleah being missing.
So Brittany, let me ask you, when you confronted him by text, how did he respond?
He responded in text messages also. But he kept calling and she wouldn't answer.
I see. So was he angry? Upset?
Upset,
Upset.
not angry.
Not angry, but upset that she would not respond and she wouldn't communicate with him.
Were you comfortable leaving town with your children with Darian Bent?
Yes, because in my mind, whatever we had going on had nothing to do with the children.
When you came back, we heard the story from Darian about a kidnapping. He was attacked. He and one of the other children were left alone. He goes to the hospital the next day. The story, quite frankly, sounded so far-fetched. A lot of people did not believe it. Did you believe it?
Okay, guys, I want to go over this with you before we continue. You're going to see on this next part of the interview, which I'll link the entire interview in the details later. I can't do the entire interview, but we're going to do some key points in the interview. But she really wants to believe that, you know, that it is true that, you know, the child was kidnapped versus Vince did it. I'm not sure if she's wanting to believe that he didn't kill her or if she's trying to protect their relationship. I'm really having trouble figuring that out with her because there are there's hints there that she's given that she didn't want this to affect their relationship. Anyways, make sure you guys share what you think. Oh, before I get started, guys, keep in mind she has been coached very well.
In town with your children with Darian Bent?
Yes, because in my mind, whatever we had going on had nothing to do with the children.
When you came back, we heard the story from Darian about a kidnapping. He was attacked. He and one of the other children were left alone. He goes to the hospital the next day. The story, quite frankly, sounded so far-fetched. A lot of people did not believe it. Did you believe it?
I wanted to believe it.
Why?
Believing that story is I mean, I would rather hear that somebody took my child than to know that somebody that I had a home with could have possibly did something.
And I think it cheapens the truth to even call it a story. What we all were told was nothing more than a concocted lie to cover up the real circumstances of the disappearance of Meleah. So I don't think that we should give him the benefit of the doubt or even the dignity to call what he said a story. It's a lie.
When you got back, he explains what happens. What else did he tell you?
When I saw him, when
you got home.
When I got home that
Yes.
Sunday,
Yes.
he never really said anything to me. He just kept saying, "I'm sorry.
He said he was sorry.
I'm sorry." I tried to protect her. That's all he told me. He didn't really tell me much. Same things that I heard going around this. He didn't tell me anything.
So, did you have suspicions about, did you have a bad feeling?
It was always in the back of my mind, yes.
What was in the back of your mind?
That something could have possibly happened.
And that maybe he was involved?
Possibly.
Okay, guys, I'm not sure what to think. You know, you want to believe her as a mother. But then again, things don't add up. What really is strange is I keep waiting for her to talk about, you know, the fact that her children have been taken out of her life. And that hasn't seemed to be an issue as a number one issue to her, which it would be for most mothers. So listening to her in these interviews, I find it very hard to take her seriously. So the interviewer asked Brittany, says, you know, we heard that there was abuse in the house. So was Meleah abused? She denies it. And what does this say to us? It says she's still protecting Vince. She's protecting Vince, and you're fixing to see it in this video. And you're fixing to see why they took her kids away and why her mother doesn't want to speak to her. Why she doesn't have good friends around. This activist that is standing by her side has exposed her, has exposed both sides. Yet, you know, she felt comfortable with him enough to try to lie in front of him. And what shocked me was the fact that he started to manipulate his way out of that question that you'll see in a second. But he finally said, look, I'm not going to lie for her. Watch this.
At what point did you become suspicious of Darian? That maybe he had something to do with Meleah's disappearance?
When he started hiding from me.
Hiding, like just wouldn't come home?
Just, no, when my suspicion grew Monday after he had been released. And he did not want to talk. His family wouldn't let me talk to him for whatever reason.
So then you were suspicious?
Yeah.
This is a man you loved. This is a man you had a child with. Did you think he was ever capable of doing any harm to any of your children?
No.
That's a long time.
Never thought
Because
that.
that's not what I seen.
To think what this man has done in this case is to see this man as a monster. And she didn't see anything living with him that suggested he was capable of something of this magnitude. Even in his worst state, that he would do something like this. And so this has been a traumatic, shocking experience for her about a lot of this. You got to understand a lot of these things that have been coming out now. When I sat with Brittany and told her that the things we had learned and discovered, the things that my organizational brothers who were out there speaking to tons of people, I was speaking to the stepdad's family, and the things that we had extracted and pulled. When I brought these things to her, you know, she was like shocked. Well, how do you know that? She was like, yeah, that's true. Well, how did you find out that? And I explained to her we had been diligently working on the case.
So, what did Darian Vince's family tell you about him? What secrets?
I have to be careful because I know that this is going to be in a trial at some point. But what I got from them was their sole concern was the protection of him, not the whereabouts of Meleah. Their sole concerns was not to get him to help us find Meleah, but it was protecting him. And I said to them, I said, listen, what kind of man is kidnapped? A child that he loves, his stepchild, taken from him. He won't return phone calls. He's participated in no searches, won't speak to searches, hiding from police officers, won't speak to the mother. I said everything he's doing indicates he's guilty of something and that the story is a lie. And so their concern was to protect their loved one. Their first priority was not where is Meleah at all.
Brittany, have you ever been afraid of Darian Vince?
No.
Has he ever harmed you in any way?
No.
Verbally abusive?
No.
Physically abusive?
No.
The police have talked about the evidence in the apartment. Bleach, blood in the apartment, linked to Meleah. Everything seems to point to this man harming your daughter. Have you grasped that reality?
Still processing. Still processing that. It's hard for me to think about.
So, I want to ask you something, because you have brought this up in interviews, and this is a touchy subject. You have said in interviews that there was abuse in the home, and Brittany was afraid to reveal it because she was afraid. You have put that out there.
Let me say this to you. My number one obligation is not to the stepfather, it's not to Brittany. My number one obligation is to that beautiful child right there, Meleah. Justice for her is the priority. Where she is the priority. Everybody else are adults. They have to stand on their own 2 feet and answer for whatever they've done. But that child is the priority. And let me be straight with you. This man has to answer. He has to answer for what happened before she came up missing. He has to answer for that. Because there's a lot more here. His mother had no idea that this child was leaving the house with him in the morning. He's saying, I'm taking the child to daycare. But only later to learn from the investigation from both HPD and us that he was bringing the child back home sometimes with him. What is your purpose to tell this mother while she's going to class or she's going to work, Meleah's at daycare. Yeah, I took her to school, but come to find out she's at home with you. Why would you lie and say she's at daycare, but have her in the house with you? The very day that she went to the airport, picked up by her friend, she leaves out the house believing Meleah is at the daycare and didn't even know he had snuck her back in the house as she walking out the door. What you doing, brother? What are you doing to this child?
Are you saying there was abuse?
Hell yeah, I'm saying there's abuse. And there's a whole lot more.
And you're saying...
But let me say this.
And you're saying that Brittany was not aware.
Let me say this.
I want to be clear.
She was not aware of a lot that was going on.
You were not aware.
But one thing I'm going to do, because right now the priority is still finding Meleah. I'm going to say a lot more before it's over. And I'm going to point directly to the facts of it. But I want to first find Meleah.
We can all understand that.
Okay, guys, what I want to do is end it here as part 1, and then I'm going to try to work on part 2 and get it out for you guys. Now, when I get through with these videos, I'll link the description and the description where you can go watch the entire video. But, you know, a lot of people are completely angry at Brittany Bowens because she tries to put on a show that she cares. But the moral of the story is she's more concerned about her relationship with Vince than she is with her own child. And this concerns me deeply as I see her sitting there, her child's picture sitting up there, and I haven't seen her once glance at that picture, which tells me that's not what's on her mind. What's on her mind is getting through this and getting what Brittany wants, what makes Brittany happy. And it concerns me of the fact that she's not talking about her children enough. I'm very concerned about that, and as a mother, I'm trying to put myself in those shoes, and as you know, you can't do it entirely unless you're there. I would be saying, look, I'm not going to answer these questions. I want to get things out there and say, who knows where my child is? Who can help me? But that's not what she does. Okay, guys, this is the end of part 1. There will be a part 2. I want to say thank you so much for watching. Please push the like button, subscribe, comment. Do that right now. And I want to say I appreciate you guys and I love you guys, and I'm sending blessings your way. Let's hope the best for this little girl. Thanks. See you soon.